Today's episode is presented by Podgo, the easiest way to monetize your podcast, offering a flat rate so you always know how much you're getting when you include an ad from Podgo. I recently joined, and so can you. Join today and immediately be connected with the advertisers suitable for your audience at podgo.co. That's podgo.co. Good luck. I can't What's going on, people? Welcome to episode 19 of the Hip Hop Orchestra Presents, and I'm joined by one of my closest friends who I absolutely adore, the amazing singer Leanne Louise. How you doing? You all right?
Hi guys, I'm good, thanks George. How are
Good.
you?
You know what? I'm even happier now that I'm seeing you again for the first time in what, months? Yeah,
I,
actually.
I was gonna say it's got to be at least a year,
At
if not
least.
more, which is just
Um,
so embarrassing. I'm so sorry it's been so long.
no, it's my fault. Don't take the blame. It's
It's
fine.
all your fault, George.
It's all mine. I'm sorry.
It's all yours.
I know. It's always my
Is
fault. I
the
can't.
sound quality okay?
No, it's fine. It's fine.
Yep.
I can hear you clearly. But how things are
Okay.
you? How you doing? Okay.
Yeah, I'm good, thank you. Life, I know for everyone at the moment is like a roller coaster. It's up and it's down. Like the highs are so good and the lows are so low.
Yeah, I
But
know. Tell
it's
me about it.
yeah,
But
I think everyone's going through it.
yeah, how you been getting on with it though? The whole lockdown
I don't
situation.
know.
You don't know.
No, I think music's been my savior. Seriously, like throughout the past few months, if it wasn't for music, I don't know what I would have done.
Mm. I
Really
see you
don't.
doing so well at the moment. Honestly, you're smashing at the moment. You're doing
Mm.
absolutely amazing. You got a lot.
Thank you.
It's my pleasure. You got a lot of new stuff coming out at the moment.
Yeah. So we've got a song out at the moment called "Let It Rain." Plug,
Hmm.
plug, plug.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
With Miss Pink, and that had such a good response. I'm so grateful. It come at the right time as well because I think we enjoy what we do so much, and everybody else has really enjoyed it. So we've got that one out. We're working on another one at the moment. We've got one single ready to go, but we need to just kind of wait for the right moment to put it out. We've got some stuff with Jess Bays coming out. I've got some stuff with Solar Track. There's so many different things. But yeah, like at the moment, I'm doing a lot of like live streams with Miss Pink, and it's been going
Yeah,
well. People have been responding to it, which is great.
it's wicked because I see the stuff you've done with Aussie Lady Pink. How did that come about with you two? Do you know from each other
So,
from beforehand or?
yeah, we well, actually, it was around Christmas time because I'd done a gig for Thames Delta Community Radio,
Mhm.
and we they were doing a set at the radio that evening, and I had done a set for them in the high street in the afternoon, and I didn't have a car. My car was broken, so I'd had a few drinks, and they were like, "Come back to the studio." We're like, "We'll have some drinks and all that." So I got really drunk. Um, went back to the studio, but that's where I met Casey, aka Miss Pink. All of the drum and bass lot, like Jessie G, Ed Solo. I've also got some stuff coming up with them. Who else was there? Decline. There was like the whole lot of them. It was really cool. So we just
Damn,
kept in contact.
damn, you've been busy. Wow.
Yeah,
'Cause I
yeah,
saw
I've been busy.
cause all the videos I see of you and Miss Pink, like I can see such a good vibe from you two, which is what I
Thank
love. I
you.
think that's what people kind of get attracted to as well. Is that kind of
Mm,
good vibe between each other, and it kind of bounces off in the music as well. Like
definitely,
it's
it's
brilliant.
fun. Like we have fun. We just have
Yeah,
fun. That's what it
yeah,
just. I don't even feel like work in the slightest. I honestly like. I work with some incredible people. I'm so lucky. But this just, I don't know. It just feels like we're just having a party.
yeah.
And everyone's there.
That's
It's really
amazing.
cool.
Like, how do you kind of dealing with so many projects at the same time, though? Because obviously, as busy as you are, how do you deal with so many things at the same time?
Honestly, it it's a bit chaotic sometimes because I'm very like, I get distracted very quick.
Mm.
And I can't just turn my creativity on. It just happens when it happens. And there's some tracks I get finished within a day, and
Mm.
there's others that have taken months. So I just go with it.
Yeah.
And I know there's people waiting for songs right now, and there's also people that have got songs back within the day. It's just, I don't know. Yeah, I just keep going and
Like I want to get into
crazy.
that kind of actually, the kind of your creativity and how you work, because you said you can't really switch on that creativity. How do you work when it comes to writing songs? Do you wait for the inspiration, or do you constantly write until you get that kind of light bulb moment and then keep writing? How do you work?
It's both. It's literally both. What I tend to do, which is really random, but I drive. I
Mm.
turn my music on in the car, and I just write songs as I'm driving. I do both. I've had to focus more on writing even when I don't feel inspired,
Hmm.
because I can't just rely on that. But there's no better feeling that when you have that motivation and you like emotions just like come over you and you just have to write. There's no better feeling than that.
It's a bit
So it's
when
yeah, fun.
I got to agree with you. When that inspiration takes over, you can't stop your music. That's the best feeling ever, isn't it? You can't stop.
So true.
It's like a real drug, isn't it?
It is. It is.
It is.
Oh my gosh, yeah, it is.
Do you miss the performing side of things now as well since lockdown?
I do. I
Yeah.
do. I was actually thinking about this earlier because it felt like this year, at the start of this year, it felt like um my original music and the people that I was working with, like writing my own stuff, it felt like it was really starting to pick up. And it was so good to like, even like I've done Brixton Jam with Jessie G and Ed Solo, and like the Jungle Cakes guys. We done that just before lockdown, and it was incredible because like people were like singing my words back to me. Okay, they
Oh.
didn't really know the songs exactly, but that's what I want to be doing. So and it was so exciting. So yeah, I miss it. I really do. I can't wait to
Oh.
get back now.
Now can we like we're so excited to get it back now.
Mhm.
It's we still obviously keep doing the videos and content and obviously the podcast as well, but that actual kind of feedback you get from the audience is something that we kind of lost for, isn't it? That kind of people like calling singing back to us and the rest of it is just the best feeling
Yeah, yeah.
ever. But how important do you
Mhm.
think it is for well, you're like a social media queen, like you're so amazing on social media, get amazing views. How important do you think it is for up and coming artists to use social media?
What? Sorry. Hang on a minute. I'm just going to turn my notifications off
Got it.
because they are getting on my nerves. Do not disturb. There we go. Because they keep popping up, and then I keep missing. Like it keeps going over the video. Sorry. What was the
That's
question?
right. So how do you find using social media for your music? Do you find it really beneficial, or do you find it overwhelming sometimes?
It's both. It's both, definitely, because it can be really overwhelming and disheartening at times because you will put your everything into something that means so much to you and you'll put it up and like it won't always get the response that you think it's going to get, or you've got a song that you don't really think is that great but you put it up and it gets a great response.
Yeah.
um I'm learning, I guess, how to post on social media a bit better.
Hmm.
I find that if I post selfies or pictures of me with what I want to say, it gets a better reaction. Um, and just posting at the right times, not posting too much. But it's been massively beneficial. Oh, if we hadn't have had social media here during
Yeah.
lockdown,
Yeah.
um, well, I don't know what I would have done, but I think we adapt to what we've got anyway. But
Hmm.
yeah, no, yeah, it is beneficial, and
Yeah.
also like the other end of it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Okay. I know. How do you feel your creativity's been since lockdown? Do you think it's gone even higher, or do you think you feel more kind of restricted now that you got this kind of extra time at home?
That's a good question. It actually, I've been really creative, but at the same time, I've been so critical of myself. That's not. I don't think that's just the lockdown. I think that's just this year as a whole. I've been so critical of everything that I've been writing. It's like, no, it's not good enough. It's not good enough. It's not good enough. Um, so I'm glad that like things have started to pick up recently because it reminds me that actually it is good enough, and to stop being so hard on myself. But yeah, no, I've got a lot to write about. So
That's
yeah.
brilliant. That's brilliant because what you write about is I absolutely love your work, and I can't believe you've known each other for years now. Going back to I Love
Mm.
Live days, which
I
was
know. When
how
I was
mad
like,
is that?
what? Yeah.
I remember because that was the first time I officially met you, wasn't it? Back at I Love Live.
It was,
And
yeah. You really smashed that.
oh, how about you though? Didn't you win the open mic event that night?
Yeah, I
Yeah,
kept going every single week until I won, and then
yeah,
I stopped. I don't know why I stopped going.
yeah. How come you stopped in the end? Because you're doing so well. Then you,
You know what? There was a point where I didn't realize that I'd stopped, but I didn't realize how well I was doing. When I look back now, my mum said to me, like, because she was like, "You were doing so well, you didn't realize it." And I looked back and I was like, actually, yeah, I was doing pretty well. But
yeah.
I got into a relationship, fell in love,
Oh,
um, and just gradually it went like.
oh,
For those of you who can't actually see the video, I was
yeah.
doing like a hand thing downhill. But yeah, no, it just yeah, I just kind of, it was gradual. I didn't even realize how much I'd slowed down.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Have you had any? What's been your kind of favorite events that you've done so far over your kind of musical career?
good question. There's so many and for so many different reasons. Oh wow. um I feel like I could answer this. You could ask me every single day of the week and I'll give you a different answer every
Yeah.
single time. I will have to say, like, one that was recent, the Brixton Jam one with Jessie G and Ed
Mm,
Solo was wicked. That was
really?
great because it just, I'm so excited to be doing my stuff with people that are passionate about what they do and work hard at what they do, and the crowd were just like wicked. But there's been so, oh my god, there's been so many incredible things. I know I'm going to kick myself after this and be like, I should have
You can text me after. I add it to the video after. Don't
done
worry.
that.
I can put that in. Don't worry. But what have been some of your biggest inspirations as a singer and songwriter? Do you look to current artists or previous artists?
So when I first started, it was Alicia Keys, Adele, Amy Winehouse, who else was there? Lily Allen, which was quite obvious when I first started because I had that accent. I still have it, but not as much. But now it's more life, like, and the things that I'm going through inspire me in my music. But when I first started out, yeah, I just used to mimic like my favorite artists.
Yeah, I think a lot of people do that,
My
don't they? They kind of
favorite.
yeah, they kind of look up to sort of big artists, don't they, to for inspiration.
Mhm.
And talk about inspiration, going back to sort of like the creativity that you mentioned about earlier. What do you find works better for you in terms of inspiration? Do you look for life situations or previous memories, or looking for new things? What works best for you in terms of writing new music?
Ooh. Now I never used to be conscious about what I was writing. Just used to write. I never used to even think about what I was going to say. It
Mm.
was weird. It just used to come out like spiritual writing. It was really, now I think of it, like it's quite interesting. I learned a lot about myself through writing, whereas now I am more conscious. I write a lot about love. I think
Mhm.
that's, but as well, like recently I've tried to write about different things. Yeah, I mean, I think it's more how I'm feeling at that moment.
Mhm.
I find it's easier to like tap into how I'm feeling at this present moment than it is to how I was feeling before. But I still do, but mainly how I'm feeling.
Yeah. Do you have any kind of personal favorite songs that you've written over the years?
Mm. Yeah, Our House. Well, it's
Yeah.
I done a rewrite of Madness, Our House, for my son, and I made a point of saying that no matter where I go, I'll let them know. And like, yeah, for me, that's one of my favorites because it means so much to me. It means so much that people listen and can relate and understand or learn something. Um, that's got to be a favorite. But obviously, the
Ah,
chorus is Madness. Can't take
yeah.
credit for that. But the rest is
It's mad.
mine. Like,
No, because I had a feeling you would actually mention that song because for me, that is like you said, the message behind it is so powerful, and it's actually a really emotional song. It gets to me every single time that I hear it, and
yeah.
I wanted to ask actually what the message was behind that, if you wouldn't mind sharing the story behind it.
Yeah, of course not. Yeah, so basically, um, I really, really wanted to write a song for my son
Mhm.
because he's my son.
Yeah.
And he's autism, so I wanted to write a song for autism. Then randomly, that had been in my mind for a while. My friend called me up, and he was with Rose Royce's manager, and he was just basically saying, "Oh, she's versatile. She does this, this, and this." Obviously, that's not me speaking. That was him speaking. So I'm sure his name was Gary. I might have got that wrong. But he'd said to my friend, "Oh, get her to cover a Madness song
Mm.
and put her own spin on it." So my friend called me up and he's like, "This is really random, but can you do like a cover of Madness and put your own twist on it?" And it just happened. Like it just all fitted together. And I was just thinking, like, our house is my neighbors sometimes must think like, what is going on, because like it's just crazy. Um it's our house literally in the middle of the street where everything's going on.
Yeah.
um if it's not my son running around screaming, it's me. And yeah, I wanted to write a song for my son for autism, and that's how it came about, basically.
Oh wow. How is your son? He's okay?
He's okay. He's up
Yeah.
and down as well. Yeah, up and down. Like one minute he's the most loving, incredible little boy. He's always the most incredible little boy to me.
Yeah.
And then the next minute he's wanting to just inflict pain. So it's up and down, and like, but I'm hoping, because he's just got into a special needs school.
Has
I'm really
he?
hoping, yeah, which is huge. I'm so grateful, because I feel like now is the time where he needs it most, because he's getting older. He's 7,
Oh
and his
wow.
friends are getting older. And uh, even though they've always been his friends, I feel like the difference now is really noticeable. So yeah, I'm glad that he's got into there. I'm hoping that will, in September when he starts, I'm hoping things will hopefully balance out. I really hope so.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's good.
Good. I'm so proud to hear. I'm so proud to hear they got into a special needs school as well, though, and I'm just so happy
Mm.
for you both. So
Thank
congratulations.
you.
A
I
pleasure.
can't believe it. Literally, when I
And
found out, I was like, oh my gosh, cried.
oh, brilliant. But you also mentioned before the podcast about you created a page, didn't you, called Me, You, and Autism Too.
Yeah,
How did that?
that's it.
Yeah. So, would you like to kind of talk about that a little bit?
Yeah, sure. So I really, really wanted to have an outlet for it. People have been saying to me for ages, you need to create a page or a YouTube channel, which I haven't got yet. I feel like that takes a lot of commitment, and I don't know if that's something that I will do. Maybe we'll see. But yeah, no, I really wanted somewhere to just document how I was feeling, but I wanted it to be separate from my music, because I don't know, I don't want to confuse people. Um, but yeah, I needed an outlet. I felt like there is a lot of misunderstanding, but every time that I go out, I like, especially now that Tyron's older. That's my son. Obviously, I know you know that, but
Hmm.
for
Hmm.
those who don't, yeah, now that he's older, it's just intense. When we leave the house, if we go to the shop, he might struggle. He might throw himself on the floor. He might hit me. He might try and hit someone else. Like, so I wanted a space. I just want to try and help people understand that it's not just a kid having a tantrum, which again is also fine. um but yeah, I just wanted to like spread awareness, and some release how I was
Mm.
feeling as well.
Yeah, I think what you're doing is incredible, and you're a fantastic mother. So keep it up.
Thank you.
It's my pleasure. Do you, apart from the song that in my house, do you find it helps with your songwriting as well, with all the situations that you're going through?
Yes and no. Sometimes it does, sometimes it doesn't. I think sometimes something can really, if something's getting to me emotionally, I'll either be able to write pages and pages, or I won't be able to say anything at all. So it just depends. And I think sometimes the more that's going on, like with me and my son, can sometimes I can like go quite not cold, but like almost emotionless, because the more emotion that I show, the more it triggers him. Sometimes, so even if it's excitement, it might not even be that I'm crying, it might be that I'm really excited about something, but that will trigger him, and then he will have a meltdown. So sometimes I can channel that, other times I feel like I don't know how to.
Mm. How have
I'm hoping
you?
this is the question. I felt like I went off track a little bit
No, don't
there.
be silly. Like, talk about whatever you want. Honestly, 'cause it's open here. How have you? How do you kind of deal with some like with your music and with what's going on with your son as well? Do you find it really difficult, or do you find that you have your own sort of rhythm now of dealing with both things at the same time?
It is really challenging.
Yeah.
That's something I don't really talk about, um, because I'm always worried that people will think I'm not capable of doing something, but it is
No.
challenging. It's really, really hard. I'm lucky that I've got my mum. So when I'm out gigging or studio or whatever I'm doing,
Hmm.
she's got him, which is amazing. And she's been the biggest support. Without her, I know it would be a million times harder, but it's just, it's weird because with music, as I'm sure you know, there is no balance, there is no routine. Almost like
It's
you can
not.
have your own routine, but you get a last minute call, oh, can you perform here, or can you come to the studio tonight? There's no routine, so it can be challenging, but we just do it. And
Hmm.
I couldn't not do my music.
Yeah.
It's
So
mad,
that's why
honestly.
my hat goes off to you because you're a real
Thank you.
inspiration. So keep it up. Honestly, keep it
Oh,
up.
thank you. Likewise.
Oh, thank you. I try. I try. But talk about that sort of last minute sort of gigs. Though. Have you ever had any come through that you've taken up and thinking, "Oh my god, it's actually an amazing event"?
Sorry, say it again.
We talk about those sort of last minute events that come through for you. Have you ever taken
um,
any up and thinking, "Okay, I'll take it. I don't really feel like doing it, but I'll do it anyway," and it's ended up being really
yeah,
amazing?
some of them are the best ones because you're not feeling it, and sometimes, like, it's like exercise. When you're not feeling it, you don't want to do it. That always ends up being like the best workout. Or it's definitely like that. There've been quite a few where I'm just like, I don't know, I don't want to do this, but
Yeah.
do it, and it turns out to be great. Like, I couldn't tell you what events, but oh well, there was one a few years back where I just was feeling just so like down, and it was everything that I needed. I just, like, as soon as I get on stage, it's like I get to tell my story. It's therapy.
It is, isn't it? Because
Yeah, definitely.
that's a good way of putting it. Because people, if you're not in that kind of position or have that experience of performing live in front of people, it's
Yeah,
like therapy, isn't it? You're getting your feelings out of there, and that feeling you get of walking on stage, people cheering for you, and sing
mm,
like what you said earlier about people singing your words back to you. There
yeah,
is no better feeling than that. It's honestly, it's coming
mm,
on stage, hundreds, thousands of people performing, singing back to you. That's the best feeling ever. And that's
yeah,
what I
absolutely.
bloody miss. Is that feeling of performing live in front
Yeah,
of so many people. And I just can't wait to do it again in the future.
yeah, yeah, yeah,
Can't
definitely. Have you
wait.
done any live streams or anything?
You know what?
Obviously, you haven't got like the orchestra there, but
I haven't myself, but it's it's really hard to do it with a group there because obviously with the Wi-Fi and like things like lagging out, cutting out, and the rest of it. We've obviously
mm,
spoken about it for months and months and months ago about that original idea, but like even do like an original concert with the orchestra, like online concert. That's what we've done,
nice.
but it wouldn't really work because, like we said about connection problems and the rest of it, it wouldn't work. I've spoken to several different companies that kind of specialize in this kind of thing, but at the same time, it still wouldn't work because
Yeah,
they said
yeah,
the
yeah.
same thing. But that's why I did the Halo video because with the orchestra because I love the message behind it. Like it's a big thank you to everyone that's putting in that incredible work from
Yeah.
the
So, taking a second, I know what video you're talking
yeah
about. Yeah.
the Beyonce one. And I was saying to the guys actually, I said it a few times now that when I was actually mixing the track, even in its purest raw state, you know when you get the
Yeah.
goosebumps straight when your hair stand, I'm thinking, oh my god,
Yeah.
I've only got like one vocalist and one violin so far. or what,
Wow.
and then obviously I think it was about 8, 9 string players, to bassist, guitarist, vocals, obviously me, and that was it. I think it was like 13 of us, 14 of us performing on that track.
Nice.
And for me, that's what music's about, is that therapy, isn't it? Like you said earlier. And it takes you to another place. It's just, even when that splits a couple of seconds, you're taken to like a whole new dimension, aren't you? And
You
I
forget,
just,
it's like you forget everything that's going on. It's just
yeah,
that moment.
you do. And I just got so much love for people like yourself and everyone I work with in the orchestra because of the talent you have and the work ethic you put in and the message you're getting out there is incredible. That's why I love everyone. So keep up the amazing work and keep it going.
Oh, thank you, and
Yeah,
likewise.
thank you.
Music,
Thank
yeah.
you.
Don't know what we'd do without it.
Exactly. There we go. But talking about sort of, I want to go back to kind of, do you have, how do you get over writer's block? Do you have any kind of methods for that?
Oh, that's a good question, because I think sometimes I just have to leave it. Like,
Yeah.
I mean, I listened to, I can't remember if it was an interview or what it was, but it was, I'm sure it was Tom Robinson, and he said to write through it, like write every day.
Mhm.
And that's a good way to look at it, because I think where I haven't relied so much on my inspiration
Mhm.
to write, I don't know. I don't really get writer's block too much, but there are some songs that it's just, if it's not working, just leave it. Go on
Mm.
to the next one. You can come back to it.
Yeah.
I don't really, yeah, I don't really have a way of dealing with it.
Is there, have you ever started a song thinking, yeah, this could be amazing, then you got maybe stuck like halfway through and thinking, oh, I can't finish this anymore?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. That I've got so many half songs, so many half songs.
um,
Or I'll write something to a beat, and I'll be like, "Oh my god, this is amazing!" And I'll send it to
yeah.
them. Like, not really
Nah.
feeling it. I'm like, what?
Damn.
No, there's so
that,
many unfinished songs. It's ridiculous.
oh, damn. I want to ask actually, how do you see like writing to someone's beat and it's going really
Mm.
well and you get stuck halfway through, you're not feeling it no more? How do you kind of let the producer know that you can't really finish the song, or do you let them know?
I'm, yeah, that's a good question. Um, I don't think I like to admit to myself if I can't finish something. I really, in my head, I'm like, no, I will finish it. I will finish it. I will finish it. Some things just fizzle out on their own,
Mm.
and they never happen. Others do. There was a remix of my song Mr. Magician, and that took a year or 2 years to come out.
Wow.
Back and forth with stuff, but yeah, it just depends. I think there are some bits that I've just not been able to like get inspired to do, or I've not really been feeling what I've done, and then the producers have got someone else to jump on that track, and then we've worked on something else later down the line, which is also cool.
Yeah, brilliant. There you go. Have you ever merged songs before of yours, like taking bits from different songs that you've written and put them together?
Yeah, I do that quite a lot with like notes. I'm writing stuff down in my notes or my voice notes. um yeah, usually if like something's not been used but I really liked it, then I'll maybe try and work it into something else. And I
Yeah.
love my mashup.
Yeah, there we go. Have you ever used lyrics from one song and used it on another beat as well sometimes to change things up?
Yes. Yeah, I used to do that a lot, like when I used to do like radio sets, like singing over a DJ set.
Mm,
I used to do that a lot. I still
yeah.
do, really.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nice. Do you have a favorite kind of genre to sing to, whether it's like R&B to garage or like ballads? Do you have a kind of favorite that you sing to?
I feel like that changes a lot.
Mhm.
At the moment, I'm loving singing on house. I'm loving it. It's great. Like, luckily, I've been sent a load of house, so I'm really enjoying singing to house music at the moment. And writing to it. That's a lot of fun. Um, but there's not like, I don't think I have like a specific thing. I always go back to stripped back keys or guitar, and I love writing to something just simple. Just depends on how I'm feeling. It
Mm.
really does.
Your voice is perfect for house. I just have to say that your voice is perfect for house. It slots in so perfectly. Oh, I've got something else there like, leading up from that. I've just forgotten now. That's my brain's burnt out as well. I can't think straight there. Damn.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
It's okay, I'm the worst at forgetting.
um, You know, I just forgot what I was about to say now. I've got such a good flow of questions that I've just forgotten now.
You're fine, honestly. Like, there's no rush.
It's
I'm
never
good.
happened ever.
I happen to you all the time.
That's it. Do you have a kind of dream project that you would like, that you would love to do?
Ooh. Yeah, but I don't. I feel like that changes all the time as
Yeah.
well. Um, I think I'd like to do the obvious stuff, like the bait cliche stuff, like sell out arenas.
Mm.
And I'd love to go on tour. I mean, I know that would be quite challenging. I have my little boy to obviously think about with that. I'd love to go on tour. I don't know. Like, I really love what I'm doing at the moment. Really, really love it, and just to keep building on that and do that on a bigger scale would be amazing, because I
Brilliant.
love what I'm working with. I do, like, I feel like I found my peoples.
Yeah, oh, there we go. Talking about it, how important do you think it is to have to surround yourself with the right sort of people around you?
So important.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, it's so important. And because, like, I'm so heavily influenced by the people I'm around, big
Mm.
time. I take on their accents, like their little quirks. I don't mean to do it, like, but I just do. I'm like a chameleon with people.
Yeah.
So if I'm around the wrong people, I become wrong people. If I'm around the right people, I become right people. I'm very, like, it's so important, especially for
Yeah.
me. I think that, like, and I need to be around positive people.
Yeah, definitely.
That doesn't mean they need to be positive all the time. Obviously, everyone's
Mm.
human, but it's just, it makes the world of difference. It really does. Like, you can't be positive around negative people. It just, I
You
also,
can't.
if I'm around people that are quite negative, I feel bad about being positive.
Yeah.
That sucks. So yeah,
Mm.
having good people around you that care about you, and just everyone striving to do well is, yeah, it's
Definitely.
important for
It
me.
really is. I couldn't agree more. And do you feel like
Mm.
you've kind of got tougher over the years in terms of making decisions about the work that you do and the people around you?
Yeah, definitely, because I mean, there have been a few points where I've been around, it's not even bad people, they're not bad people, like, I've never really been around, like, bad people, but it's just they weren't right for me.
Mm.
The decisions they were making, I'm sure they were fine for them, but they weren't right for me. So closing the door on that is important. Sometimes hard, but you gotta do what you gotta do.
Exactly, man. How do you sort of deal with the hard decisions in terms of your like music and so forth? Do you have a sort of way of dealing with things, or just like literally just go straight in and like just get it out of the way there and then move on, or is there just a certain way of doing it?
I don't really have a certain way of doing it. I think I just try to be tactical about it. I don't want to ever upset anyone or make anyone feel bad. So I don't
Mm.
really know.
Yeah. Like what be some of the best lessons you've learned since starting in music all over these years?
One, I heard this recently and it has stuck with me, is meet people where they are. Um, because I can overinvest in people. I think we all can.
Hmm.
But yeah, to meet people where they are, that's recently been one that's been on my mind. Some of the biggest lessons. Uh, no, my brain's gone
Yeah,
blank.
I'm sorry. We'll come
No, no,
back
no,
to it
it's
later.
fine. Yeah, come back to it,
I'll
because
come back to it after that. Yeah. That,
sorry.
yeah, that's what you said. It's fine. Like over the years of obviously being a singer and songwriter, how do you feel like you've improved as an artist overall? Do you feel like you are better at writing lyrics now, or your singing technique's gone better now? What kind of things do you think you've got better at over the years?
I think I've gradually got more confident.
Mhm.
I know for a fact my writing's got a lot better. I feel like I've got better, my songs making sense.
Mhm.
because I think that's a classic one. Even now, people still say it, like, that sounds great, but it don't make sense. And I think over the years, I've had to really remind myself that I know what that means because I know how I'm feeling, but actually it doesn't make any sense. Or it might make sense, like, metaphorically, but the people that I'm working with might not be able to kind of like pick at it and make it make sense. So
Yeah.
I think making sense over the years I've got better at. Vocally, I just feel like the more that I've sung, the better I've got. I've found what works, what doesn't work. Did I answer your question?
Yeah, it did. Oh, okay, perfectly. There we go.
Yeah.
But dealing with kind of feedback from different kinds of people, how do you take that on? How do you take? Oh, my mic.
Yeah, I don't mind.
Yeah.
I quite like that. I quite like when people give me feedback. And as long as they're not saying it in a really nasty way, then I think I just absorb it and like just go with it. I
Yeah.
don't know. Yeah, like I'm quite open to any sort of like constructive criticism. I think that's a good thing, and definitely helps me grow. Obviously, you get nasty comments, especially recently with the feeds like doing more. There's been a lot more like nasty comments. With that, it's just like it is what it is. Like just keep it moving.
Yeah, of course.
But yeah, no, yeah. I don't. I
Good.
feel like it doesn't really like. I don't get offended.
Good. Good. Do you feel like your skin's got tougher over the years, thicker skin?
Yeah, I've definitely
Yeah.
grown a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
Good.
Yeah.
Brilliant.
Sorry, I didn't mean to give you like a just like yes.
No, it's fine. I like it when people talk. I love it. And what's been your kind of biggest, what for you personally, your biggest achievements to date so far?
Ooh, becoming a mum, obviously.
Yeah.
I think like on paper, randomly got a #1 in Italy.
What? I didn't know that.
Yeah, it was really
Damn.
random.
Go on,
Really random.
Leanne.
That so like on paper that looks amazing, but in reality, obviously, it didn't really do much for me.
I didn't.
But it's like it's cool to say like got #1. Um,
Like how,
my
how,
biggest.
how, how did I come about? Actually, I want to kind of go. Actually, I'll come back to it after, but I'll let you finish your thing first.
No, it's cool. So I uploaded an a cappella of my song "Mr. Magician" to SoundCloud. Subsurface, that's a production duo. They found it, remixed it, contacted me, and that was basically how it happened. But that was the song that was going backwards and forwards for like a year, 2
Oh
years.
wow. Okay.
And then eventually, when it did come out, it done really well. So,
Oh, brilliant.
yeah,
I'm very proud of you.
thank you.
Okay. And yeah, what else do you think have been your big kind of biggest achievements to date so far?
Again, this is a question you could ask me every day of the week, and every day of the week I'll give you a different answer, I think. Because I forget sometimes. I have to really sit there and reflect on all of the things that I've done. And then I'm like, oh my God, I've done this, I've done that, I've done that. Like, wow, I think I'm so focused now on being in the present that I forget how far I've come with things. I think finding the right people to be around is a big achievement. I know it doesn't sound like a massive thing, but I'm really enjoying what I'm doing right now with people. Yeah, no, I done some shows in Greece in the end of 2018, and that was a big one for me in terms of like emotionally, because of the emotions that I went through in them 2 weeks was insane. And also, like prior to that, I'd done a writing camp in Santorini in Greece. That was huge. That was a big one for
Wow.
me because that was my first, like, not first, but it was a big deal because everyone there had like #1s, and they were like massive songwriters, and there's little old me walking in
Oh.
with like no placements whatsoever at that point. It was so overwhelming, but that was a big one for me. In fact, that was a big one for me because that, like, my whole life changed from that experience. Like for me as a person, like I gained a lot of confidence. I realized actually I can do it. Like,
Mm.
wow.
That's
I've just,
fantastic.
yeah, that was a big one. There's
Do you,
loads of them, I think.
yeah. Do you still keep in contact with anyone from that place in Santorini that you went to?
Yeah, I do. I
Yeah.
do. Yeah. They're really
Brilliant.
lovely guys.
Ah, and did you do a video shoot out there as well?
No, yeah, well, I did it in Zante.
Oh, Xanthi,
That was
okay.
the 2 weeks that I was gigging out there. That was incredible. It was so hot. It was like 32 degrees. And literally after every shot, we were just stopping, like wiping the sweat from the
Oh.
food. It was hot. Like, obviously it was a great experience, but it was hard. It was really, really hot. And I'd not packed appropriate clothing. I'd like jeans and a denim jacket, and yeah. But no, that was incredible.
That's fantastic, man. Like, how do you find sort of different crowds in different countries? Because obviously you've been around quite a few places. How have you felt the audiences have been in different places?
Um, I've never been somewhere like, that's a great question, because I think when I've done Dante, predominantly it's like an English audience because
Mm.
everyone's there on holiday. I haven't done loads of gigs in like different countries. I've done like some studio work in Paris, but I don't know. Again, like, I think I adapt to the people I'm around. Like, if I'm walking into somewhere that's very like posh,
Mhm.
I'm not gonna get on the mic and be like, "All right." Whereas if I'm walking into a pub and I can see that everyone's had a few drinks and they're all a bit like wavy and
Yeah.
very like down to earth, I'll get on the mic and be like, "All right."
Yeah.
Like, I don't know, I try to like meet people where they are. Again, like just meet people where they are, and I'm always me, but just different versions of me in different situations.
Oh, fantastic. And what kind of
Everyone.
what advice would you give for kind of up and coming singer songwriters like yourself?
To try. I think like when I first started, I didn't know anyone whatsoever in the industry. The only person I knew was my brother, but he was on pirate radio emceeing
Oh,
and
really?
DJing, so he didn't like, yeah, and he's fantastic as well, and he's great on the keys. He was probably my first influence. I skipped him and went straight to Adele. That was rude of me. He was my main like influence growing up. He'd play the keys, and he'd always pass me down his keyboards. He's much better on the keys than I am. What was the question again? Because I got distracted.
Yeah. What advice would you give for up and coming singer songwriters? Yeah.
Yeah, to try. That was it. Yeah.
There you go.
Because I didn't know anything or anyone about. I didn't know anything about the industry. I didn't know anyone in the industry. So I got this big book, and it was about, I can't remember what it's called, but it was just loads of email addresses, with like music managers, labels, gigs, and I just went through it and I emailed. I must have been hundreds and hundreds of people.
I got the
I
same book.
remember. Well, sorry.
I think I got the same book. It was was it the Musician's Guide or something? I think it's something like that. Something like that.
The
Yeah.
Untitled Chapter, something
That's
like
something
that.
like that.
Yeah, yeah. So I went through it, and I remember I booked myself a gig as well. This actually wasn't from the book, but I booked myself a gig. I only had one song, and I was 17, and I remember them emailing me, and being like to everyone, please bring ID on arrival. You can't get in. I was like, I have to tell them that I'm not 18. So I was booking myself gigs. I wasn't even able to do. I didn't have a setup. I didn't have a PA. I had one song, but I just tried. I tried so hard, and like I would only get like maybe 2 replies out of 100 emails if I
Mm,
was lucky. Um, but then, I was naive to everything. But then you meet people and you network. Networking's a big one,
mm,
big, big, big one, because people always say it's not what you know, it's who you know, and it's true
yeah.
to a certain extent. Obviously, I think if you're hardworking and you love what you do and your music's good, you'll get there anyway. But like, yeah, networking's a massive,
Oh, yeah,
massive
isn't it?
one. Just try. That's, I think,
Yeah.
my advice is you just try.
Just try. There we go.
No one knows what
Really.
they're doing, really.
And what else? What's your future targets from now? You said you've got some releases coming up. Is there anything else that you're working on at the moment, like to share?
Yeah, so obviously, like I said, I've got Let It Rain out now with Miss Pink, and we've got 2 other songs that we've got coming out. I've got a song with Jessie G and Ed Solo, a drum and bass track, probably a few other bits with them as well. Fingers crossed. A lot of house stuff. I just recently recorded a song with a producer called Solar Track, and it's a remake of Sade. I'm sure it's Ordinary Love or No Ordinary Love,
Yeah.
but we've like taken bits of the vocal. He chose what bits are going to go where, and it's called Love Like This, and like the microphone in that studio was just like heaven. The vocals sound awesome. I'm so happy with it. That's going to come out at some point. There's lots of different stuff. Like I've got a song with Jess Bays called, I'm sure it's like Thinking of You or something like that. My brain's just short. But yeah, like I'm always writing and always working on different stuff. I'm really enjoying dance music at the moment. Really, really enjoying dance music. Yeah.
That's
So lots
fantastic,
of
man.
dance music.
Good.
And garage as well. I can't forget
Oh,
Soul Exile.
garage is. I still love to this day. I still love garage. I can't lie. I love it.
Yeah, me
Yeah,
too. Like,
definitely. Is there any kind of favorite albums that you still listen to this day from back in the day?
ooh. Now I've never like had loads of albums, which is quite embarrassing considering I'm a singer. But um growing up, I loved the Spice Girls. I still love the Spice Girls, like Sporty Spice, but I wanted to be Baby Spice when I was younger.
Oh, really?
Um, love the Spice Girls. Still, like they come on the radio the other day, and I was like, yes, hunting right up. Amy Winehouse,
Hmm.
phenomenal artist.
Of course.
Um, there's a lot like Alicia Keys. I remember like I love how raw her music is. Like it's raw. She
Mm.
doesn't sound like she's got a load of auto tune on her voice, which is nothing wrong with that. I love auto tune and I use it, but it's refreshing to listen to her stuff. So I was listening to like some of her music the other day. Really like Ed Sheeran as well. Like he's someone that I listened to when I was first starting out,
Mm.
and again now. I love how versatile he is. Yeah, but like no
Yeah.
specific album. I don't really
Yeah.
think. Maybe like a
Nice.
smash hit.
Nice. Oh, smash hits. Yes.
I
I
feel
mean,
like that's really dated.
it is. What's that other ones that now music like 98 where
Yeah,
it is
that's
my
it. That's
music as
what I
well.
meant. A huge
Yeah,
smash
that's
hit.
smash hits as well. Yeah. Have you been? Have you ever like been to any? What's been your kind of favorite event you've been to a concert growing up? Have you any kind of favorite ones?
Growing up, I went to V Festival with my mum. I also went to, there was a thing called the Spectacular, and it was also in the same park as V Festival, but it was like, I think it was before V Festival.
Mhm.
And I used to love that. I saw Blue, the boy band Blue. I used
Yes.
to love them when I was younger. I saw Steps, and then also at V Festival, saw Amy Winehouse before she really, really got big.
Wow.
Um, and Khalees and Pink. I loved them as a kid. Like again, I've not been to loads and loads of like proper big events and festivals,
Mm.
but I really want to change that.
Yeah, 'cause that's what I've been to quite a few myself now, and to see sort of the top artists in their field performing live, I think that gives you more inspiration in different ways as well. Because me being obviously the producer composer as well, I've kind of slowed that down now to focus on the orchestra and the podcast now as well. But seeing people live with like full orchestras and the rest of it is, oh my god! I remember I think about 3 years ago now, 2, 3 years ago, I went to go and see Hans Zimmer, the film composer.
Tell me about this.
Yeah, I told you,
Yeah,
didn't I? Oh my god, that because he's my hero. Like, if
yeah.
I don't get starstruck, but when I saw him on stage, it's like, oh my god, he's finally there. He's finally there, and I kind of got disappointed. I think I must have told you already about how it started though, because it started off with him in just like a band, wicked band. I was like, okay, cool, nice. It's nice little start. Then a couple of
Mm.
minutes in, it's like, nah, this can't be it. It can't be just him and a little band together. Oh, no way. But then the curtains went up, And then behind, like a full orchestra and choir behind is like 300, whatever it was behind it. It's like, oh my God, that's what I'm talking about. But to see these kind of live shows live, it's like, it's breathtaking in a way, isn't it?
Absolutely. That's something I'd love to see. Like
Yeah.
massive orchestra,
Yeah.
like choir. That,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, because I've been to like quite a few of those now, like a few film concerts to other events, and for me, there's nothing better than a live orchestra playing things that you love.
Yeah.
I tried getting tickets to go see John Williams once about a year or two ago, and I was in the queue for an hour and a half to see him
Wow.
online because he was at the Royal Albert Hall. This is about 2-ish years ago, and so like, the tickets were still at 9 o'clock in the morning. Logged on at 9 o'clock, bang on, and it was a 3,500 people person queue. I was like,
Wow.
Jesus! So I was got to do my work in the morning, whatever. Came back and I was in the top 50 to get a ticket. I
Oh
thought,
my
yes,
gosh.
we'll get a ticket. And he goes, all tickets sold out. I was like, you
Oh my
bastard!
gosh.
No!
Oh my gosh.
Because he's been the last person I wanted to see live in concert. I've seen Hans Zimmer, I've seen Brian Tyler a couple of times, seen loads of other people. But for me, even though Hans Zimmer and Brian Tyler are my two favorites, John Williams, he's like the godfather of film music.
Okay.
And he's done things like, you probably know already, about like Indiana Jones to Star Wars to Harry Potter to Jaws. He's done like Jurassic Park as well. Every kind of famous film soundtrack he's done.
Incredible.
So, yeah, so to see him live in concert, because he hadn't been to England in 20 years at this time. And it's like, oh my God, I have to see him. I don't care. And then all tickets got sold out. But then I looked on, I think, StubHub afterwards, and tickets have gone for like 400 or 500 quid minimum. So,
Wow.
yeah, I can't really afford that. So I'm not going to do that. But has there been any other artists you've kind of wish you saw or seen at the moment?
Yes. I really want to see the Spice Girls. I really do. I know that's cheesy, but I always wanted to as a kid. Who else? Because there's a lot. I'll tell you what. I mean, obviously this is not like a massive artist, but someone that I think is amazing. His name's Tony Az. He's still up and coming like me, and he put on a great show. Fantastic show. Little like place in Dalston, in Hackney, and he smashed it. It's like the whole show told a story. He really, you could tell, put everything that he had into that. I would love to see him live again.
Yeah.
He asked me to join him on one of my favorite songs of his, which is called How I'm Living, and that song like gets me, like I cry. I've laughed at that song, cried at the song, like incredible. He's an amazing artist that I would love to see live again. I'd love to see him on stage. I'd love to see what he could do. That would be incredible. But I think I would like to see Amy Winehouse. Obviously, that would never happen now, unfortunately.
Good rest.
But I would, because I was young when I saw her, and I hadn't heard her music at that point. She was still very up and coming. I would have loved to have seen her. Yeah, but there's so many,
isn't there? Yeah.
So many.
Oh man. But you know what? I think, you know what? That was so good. I think I might finish on that, you know.
Thank you.
But thank you so much for being a part of it, honestly. I've missed you so much, honestly.
I miss you
too.
We have to meet in person soon.
In person, definitely. When it's all over, we'll be meeting up.
We're just going to meet.
100%. But I'm wishing you all the best in your future, though, honestly. Keep up the amazing work. I'm really proud of you.
Thank you. Okay. I'm really, really proud of you too. Thank you, George.
And
Take
peace.
care. See you soon.
Bye.